A lot of people ask me this question, and what I always say is remake, remake, remake. Like anything you like that you don't know how it was made, you should remake it. It's
Even
like
if you don't know how to.
Yeah,
Just
it's
try.
like imagine you're a magician, you're at a show, you see another magician doing a stage trick. All you want to do is you want to figure it out. And the more tricks you know, the better you become. So what I'll do is I'll listen to a lot of tracks, and most of it's garbage, but 1% of what I listen to really intrigues my ear. And I'll go in and put it into Ableton, listen to it carefully, listen to the center, listen to the sides, filter everything so I can focus on the sub, try to isolate the drum samples. I'll go on Wikipedia, find which synthesizers they used, find which drum machines they were using. And with all that knowledge, I try to put it all together and then just use my ears to remake the sample. What I do now, I do a lot of sound effects for all these movies. So, explosions, whooshes, sound that go, or like risers that go. And what I do with those is that I put the names and also what we call the metadata. So when you do a search, if you put a hit, you can also put synonyms like, impact, cathedral, large, reverb, punchy, distortion. Putting all these words so that your file naming is so elegant and effective that people just keep using your sounds not only because they're good, but because they're usable and easy to navigate with.
You were still in France at the time.
Yeah, still in France. So
in what part of France, so people know?
Bordeaux, where there's great wine, and that's about it.
Bunch of wine drunk people just walking around the city.
Wine, cheese, and snails, maybe. Bordeaux was lovely, not great for the music industry. And I felt like, okay, I can tour a bit with the festival thing. I really enjoy, jumping on stage, playing my own tracks. That was a complete thrill. But I thought that, I studied careers, and I felt like most of the careers in that world don't last very long, maybe 5 years at most, and the spotlight goes on someone else. So
how'd you even get into festivals? Did you have to know someone? I mean,
honestly,
being a young producer,
lovely story.
I'd love to get into festivals right now, but I mean, you got to know people, right?
Funny. So when I was around 16. I remember I was putting my tracks on SoundCloud, on Facebook, and they probably had, 1,000 plays at max. But one day I was taking the bus, and I hear this girl with earplugs, and I was like, why does she have earplugs? I want to talk to her. I can't talk to her. I hate technology. Then I tried to listen to her earplugs, and I hear a hi-hat pattern and a drum fill that was from Lee Castlevania, which is a huge influence too. Then I continue listening, and I'm like, oh no, that drum fill is actually mine. She's listening to one of my songs. And I was like, no way, impossible. So I talked to her and who wrote this song? Do you know who this is? And she's like, oh yeah, this is Karel Psota, blah, blah, blah. So, oh, cool. I don't know this guy, but I'll look it up. So I pretended I wasn't the guy, which I regret now. But that gave me confidence to think, okay, people are listening to my music and not just producers, girls are listening to that. And then some of my really local fans started booking shows for me. So I didn't have to do anything. My
local fans?
Yeah.
So America's a little different. Is it the same here?
I don't know
that you've been here, or
how it really works, but someone with a bit of power that likes your music will help you out.
Some girl or guy that has a dad that owns a club, yo, we need to book this guy.
Exactly. It's as simple as that, and also as complicated as that.
And I assume the money wasn't big. It was just get you in there.
So I'll be honest with you guys, especially when you're 16, you think $100 is a lot, but it isn't. That's what I was getting for these gigs. I want to bring in. So the great thing with music streaming is you have passive income. For me, it doesn't really work because all my music needs to be secretive and needs to stay in the industry so that when trailers come out, there's something fresh and new. So you'll never find my music on Apple Music or Tidal or Spotify. However, to create passive income, another method I've found to not rely on paychecks that come every 2 years is to create sample libraries. So
that's what a lot of artists out there are doing. The thing is, you have to be good at it. You can't just throw crap out there.
Exactly.
It's your brand.
And you could also not recycle existing samples like I see on Splice all the time. I think Kashmir got in trouble. He's a great sound designer, by the way, but I just think he was poorly organized in his samples and accidentally put samples that weren't his into Splice. But I mean, it's all settled now. But yeah, my model now is to... so it's parallel to my music career. While I'm writing music, I'm actually creating sounds as I go. And the easiest way to do it is you write a song, try to do everything from scratch, and everything that works, you export it and put it in a little folder, name it properly. And by, let's say, every 6 months, you should probably have a solid folder with enough sounds that you are able to create a pack. That's always what I did. I studied like a few genres, tried to remake sounds, even my trailer sound effects, put them in a folder, partner up with someone. So always find someone around you that's good at marketing. Like I'm really bad at it. So I teamed up with one of my friends called Clément Ducasse. And we started a company called AVA Music Group that has been doing really well. So we have Instinct trailer sound effects. We have a pop drum library called Prism. And after that, we also created Epic Sound Effects, which is another company, which is just audio files for editors. We did Quantum with Joshua Crispin, one of my, idols. That was an honor to work with him. And that's been really good. So that's, smaller amounts of money, but that comes in every month and it allows to pay my rent. But the one I'm mostly known for was Shazam, which is the DC superhero. And there was a track in it. So it's Kendrick Lamar Humble that I remixed in a trailer version. It's a really cool track because it has a dubstep influence, and then it has some kind of rock-ish drums, and then some orchestral back end. So it's the first time I'm really mixing all my influences together. And what happened with that trailer is that I only had one night to do it, and we were pitching maybe 5 different songs. I think there was Eminem, there was Hot Stepper, and then with Kendrick Lamar, that was the 5th one. I was like, I can't do this anymore. They give you 24 hours to do a full song.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And it has to be mixed and mastered to sound like a hit record. So I was...
For what people don't know what mix and master means.
So essentially, mix and master, it's the sonic quality. It needs to compete objectively with modern records.
And so master is another way of saying if you're listening to your radio, and everything you hear on the radio one after another sounds the same level.
Exactly.
It's mastered.
So I would say loudness and tonal balance is really key there. And so I was really focused on that. And I was like, okay, I hate this track. It's never going to work. I'm completely burnt out. I'll never do trailers again. And then that trailer comes out.
Good that always happens in life. Something you don't think is going to happen, happens.
Story of my life. Work the hardest, completely burn out, and then magic happens, and you're magically rewarded for all the hard work you put in, thankfully.
Mamba mentality.
Yeah. And, so that turned out pretty well. Then that trailer put my name on the map. Then obviously, agents come to you, publishers.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed these short clips, don't forget to go on Mic for Success on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Music to check out the full podcast. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Put comments down below on things you want to hear in the future.